kids. Welcome to a short little episode of GLEN YAPS. We're down here in my part two or second half of my my basement, which is my jam space. Right now I've got a drum set up that I use for teaching. And I don't teach a lot of students. I just, out of the blue, kind of, I don't know how I got into helping this one person, but I just saw that she had interest in drums, and it was kind of through her boyfriend, which is my lead singer in my band. So I found over the years a lot of band members, their partners, always want to try and find a way to be part of the music thing. There are some that alienate from it. They don't want to be part of it, which is fine. I don't know if that's in my opinion, I don't think that's a kind of a smart thing to do. I always believe that in a relationship you kind of, you want to find out what the other person's loves and hobbies are, and music is one of those things. Like, I know in my case my wife is a huge, massive part of my music life. When we met, I had a music life already established. I've been with her since 1980, and knew her before that, but I was a musician at that time. So she wanted to be part of it, and as soon as we started dating, we became, connected musically. She wanted to be part of it. So she had a drum set. We got her a drum set, and she doesn't play drums to do anything with bands and stuff like that. She just loves playing drums, and she doesn't do it all the time. She's not addicted to it like I am and other people. She does it for fun. That's it. So she learns at her own space, at her own pace. And that's just the way it is. A lot of the band members, their spouses, for the most part, are not involved in music, and so in the long run they don't understand that lifestyle. They don't understand that that drive, that addiction, that total love of music and the instruments we play. So they lose a bit of contact with their spouses, and as years go along, I see sometimes there's more of a divide there. There are some partners that don't want you to be in the music thing, which I think is just totally stupid, because music has a lot to offer, and if you're not willing to find out that side of it, then you're making a grave error. So I was a music teacher, teaching drums and bass actually, but drums mostly, for 20-something years. And I loved it, and then you reach a stage where you start to get fatigued or burnt out from being locked in a room and with the students, and doing. I used to do 1-hour lessons. I never believed in the half-hour lesson thing. So if you took lessons from me, it was minimal to be in my study sessions for 1 hour. Most of them would go longer, but hour is the minimum. And so I met a lot of great people. I got to be fantastic friends with these students, and some of those students we're still friends to this day. But like anything, I started getting fatigued by it, and just had to walk away from it for a while because it is a lot of work. It's a lot of, it's not so much stress. I think when it comes down to the repetition is what got to me. And I rarely taught beginners. I usually taught more advanced players that wanted to learn how to read music notation and things like that. I did teach beginners though, but just not like most drum teachers would have done. I liked the intermediate students. So I was kind of like where I was kind of the pass-off zone from the beginner teachers to the intermediate, and that was by choice. And I love that. So, anyways, as I got older, people kept asking for lessons, and they still ask for lessons. And I refused to teach lessons on a full-time basis. I have a lot of different things going on in my life that I love, which is like my recording studio. I love to write music, and it's not that I don't want to teach these people. It's just other things have filled my life. And it's like most people, you get older, your things in life change, your hobbies change, your loves and things change. And so that's kind of where I've been for, probably since I think I stopped teaching early 2000, I think. So 20 years. So I haven't, is that 20 years? Yeah, just 20 years, around 20 years. Took a break from it. So anyways, I always help people though that ask for it, show them chops, show them some stuff. We always have these little drummer circles, I call them, where all us drummers get together, shoot the breeze, hey, I saw you do this on this, how do you do that? Or if I ask them, what kind of drums you got? What gear are you using these days? 'Cause we're all gear nuts. We love to talk gear, music gear, drums, guitar stuff. I love all that stuff. It's just fun. Find out what the other guy is, playing. And no two musicians have exactly the same gear. Not in my experience. They each have their own signature sound, their own signature music gear that is specific to them. And even if you do have the same brand of drums, it might be a different configuration, different skins, different sound. I love all that. I love learning what these other musicians are using. And I'm not just biased to the drums. I listen to everything. So anyways, so I love to help people, and I've been a part of, drum charities where I give away drum sets for Christmas cheer, and got to know some great kids and get them started into the music thing via drums. And and it has nothing to do with a money thing, because I don't make money at it. In fact, it costs me a lot of money, because while I restore these kits and give them away, they still cost money to get them, up and running and working to give away. But it's not about money for me. Never was. So, anyways, I've had a few people in the last little while ask about lessons, and I really shied away from it until I'd say in the last maybe few months, 3 months. Some of my singer's girlfriend, she wanted to get into the music thing. I'm not totally sure why she got into it, but I'm going to guess that the mechanics of it is interesting. In fact, it interests a lot of people. They see how all these mechanical parts are being hit or played or moved, because there's a lot of moving parts, and that intrigues them. So it's almost like a signal flare. It's like, that's interesting. I want to, find out what makes that happen. So I ended up taking on this one student, and happens to be the girlfriend of my singer. And I told her, you know what, I don't want any money for it. I want to be able to do this, that my freedom is still available to me, but I also want to try and make you happy discovering this instrument that I have loved for since 1977. So that's 45 years, I think. And still love. And everybody who knows me knows how much I love drums, because I collect these things like they're like part of my DNA now. So I said, well, I'll give it a try. And I always tell people that, and even when I was teaching, that, and I've always been like this. And I have a friend who's a music teacher too. He's the same way, doing private type lesson. If you don't show the effort, you're fired. I'm going to fire you. You're not going to be my student. I don't like my time wasted. If you've come this distance and you want me to do it, I will go 100% for you. And I will stick with it until you're ready to branch out on your own if you want. Or you can still keep coming. I did not want a rudimental thing where it was at this time each week, this much is hours for the lesson. I don't want that. I never did. The only reason why I said an hour is for a music store, because the music store is making the money at the time. But in private, I really like however long it takes, I like the lesson to sink in. So I had my own rules and suggestions on how I wanted to do this. So anyways, that's what happened. So this person, this Keisha, she said, yep, that's what we're going to do. So now I see the interest, and I don't know what the long-term goal is, but right now I see the interest. It appears to me that this has given her something that she can actually control herself and enjoy and develop. And I'm not sure there's a lot of that for kids in general these days. In the music thing, I know a lot of kids take music, but do they stick with it? I don't know. I've been out of the teaching realm for 20 years, and a lot can change in 20 years. So I decided to do it, and it's been a lot of fun. We've done some interesting projects, we've done a couple of things. Well, one thing in particular is created a little 2-minute and 15-second song with her drumming, and I wrote music around it, which is something I always wanted to do back when I was a music teacher, because I always felt that I can teach you drums and I can show you how that fits in with the music, but you don't really get a taste of how to create the music, how to come up with your own part for a song. And so that was always something that you had to trip and stumble over to find out your own way, which is kind of what I did. But I found that the stumbling blocks to that were, there were a lot of train wrecks, and not everything was fun. But at least in a lesson form, you can give some people that exposure. So I kind of experimented that with her, and it turned out kind of fun. So Anyway, so I do this kind of thing um, for free, and it's basically who I want to help. And like I say, I don't have a lot of free time. I'm retired now, but from a regular day job, but I'm busier now in everything else that I love. So I had to work this out that it wasn't going to take away from what I have worked for, to be honest. So yes, there's a little bit of Glen greed there. I have to be able to still do my own things. So, and I always love getting to know these people that, you know, want help or lessons and stuff. That's a big part of it for me. I like the friendship side of it. I love the friendship side of it, to be honest. And I find if you become friends with your students, you get to grow as people, but you also get to get a comfort that allows lessons to sink in a little easier. And it's not a planned thing. Each person is unique. And I mean, I've had students that were totally by the book. They just wanted to come for the lesson, and hi Glenn, how you doing? And at the end of the lesson, it's like, thanks for the lesson, goodbye. You know, and that's totally fine too. But a majority of them, they enjoy the drum lesson, but they also enjoy the company or the friendship. And that's what I like. I'm not really I'm basically a loner. I like being in just a one-on-one kind of talking relationship. I'm not comfortable in groups. I never have been. It's kind of strange, but anybody who knows me on social media would think that I am, you know, I feel comfortable in crowds, and I can be in a band situation on stage talking to an audience. I'm totally comfortable with that. But I do feel nervous in crowds, so I prefer one-on-one conversations. That's just how I've always been. So anyways, I'm doing this because I love to do it, and I'm doing this because I see the interest in the person that asked for my help. So, and it's not a money thing because I'm doing this for free, but because I do it for free doesn't mean my time can be just taken away from me and disposed of. It has to be, I have to see some interest, and you know, it's a two-way street. If you're asking for my help, I'm going to give it to you, but you have to show the effort. So in this case, I was pleasantly surprised. I didn't know what to think of it at the time when she and my singer were asking. I mean, they were really subtle about it, you know. I don't think they knew how to ask, but it just kind of came out that way. And right away I said, well, if she's interested, we'll give it a shot. Because my wife plays drums, and girls lately are really making a mark in the music industry. I mean, they're becoming fantastic musicians, where in the old days, that typical thing where they would kind of put women aside, they didn't take them seriously. Well, that was always a mistake, because there have been some stellar women musicians that some influence me to this day on on drums. So, and even songwriting and bands themselves, like some all-girl bands. They're just totally great musicians. So I think with YouTube and all this video thing, the newer generations are starting to see the influences of men and women in music. Where I don't always think the music has gone the greatest, the musicianship seems to be in your face more with YouTube, which in my day you wouldn't have found. The only way you found that stellar musicians was you had to buy albums, and so that cost money. So if your bank account was low, you were kind of slow at trying to absorb the new music. Now it's in your face. It's in your face all the time. There's so much to absorb, and because I'm older, it's a barrage for me. I'm trying to just absorb it like a sponge. But this generation and the last few generations, I guess, with the internet, are discovering music, are musicians at a faster pace. So I think that probably helped this young lady, and so far it's been fun. All students drive me nuts. That's just the way it is. Teachers won't say that, but I know that students drive them nuts. But that's all part of the course, I guess. You can't have everything go smoothly. So, while that's all said, I did this for free and have been doing it free for her. Even though the lessons for her, I do videotape the lessons. They are put online in a private. They're each, like, I do help other people. She's the most regular, but there are other people that I've helped in the last few years, and what I've done is I upload a video lesson into a private section of my YouTube page, and only they can access it and learn from the lessons. So back in my day, if it wasn't written down on music sheets, you were kind of walking out the door and forgetting, a third of what you were taught. And I hated that. I would get home and it's like I totally forgot this. So nowadays I videotape all the lessons and I upload them. So it's a lot of time. So it takes if the lesson's 2 hours, 2.5 hours, that's a lot of video to upload. And then you can edit the video or whatever. Just depends. But that's just that part of it. Prepping the lessons is another thing. You're going to learn how to read when you come to me. Reading has so many advantages. It's so easy to learn how to read. I don't know why most musicians don't know how to read music. Some of them think it's cheating, and it's like, really? I don't understand the cheating part, because I'm looking at a music note to play the song. If I can read a chart in after maybe going through it 2 practice passes, rather than spending a week trying to memorize it, and I only play the song once or twice in a year, I'm going to read a chart. There's no way I'm going to spend all my time relearning a song that I did a year ago just for one show. If I have a transcription of the chart, I'll throw it on my music stand, or nowadays in my tablet. I can access it, and away I go. It's the dumbest thing I've ever heard, where musicians say, oh, I didn't learn reading because it was too hard. It's not hard. You can learn to read in 2 lessons for the basics. So, I was taught musical notes by my mom. She was a classical pianist. When I took lessons from a teacher named Gord Wilson when I was a kid, he got me right into the drum notation, which is, notation means musical notes for drums. all the musical notes are the same throughout for all instruments, except in drums, in comparison to musical instruments. Instead of a note like an E or an F that you play, it's a part of the drum set. So it's not based on pitches so much for a drum set as it is for other musical instruments. So anyways, the nice thing about helping people, and I love helping people. Yes, I come across as the most miserable bastard ever, but I really enjoy helping people. And if someone has a question about anything about music, recording, drums, guitar, whatever, I play a lot of the stuff. I'm not great on a lot of the stuff, but I can definitely help people if they're just starting. I just love to help, and I am not one to back down from someone asking a question and that needs a hand. I will definitely give it my best shot. So I expect nothing back except to, if you're learning from me, it's just to get a work ethic that you're going to practice and show that you are at least trying. Everybody learns at a different level. That is understood. Anybody who's been a teacher understands that we can't all progress in one big group at the same level. It just doesn't work that way. Not that I've experienced anyways. So each person, you have to take a different approach. So, but anyways, to make a longer story longer, I don't do it for the money. Even though it takes a lot of my time, I don't want to do it for the money. Money never interested me like it does other people. Money for me is to survive. I do love money for buying my drum collection. Anything to do with music gear, yes, I love money for that. I will spend money on a pair of drumsticks before I'll buy a new shirt. I could care less if I wore the same two shirts all week. I could care less what people thought of me wearing the two shirts in the same week. It means absolutely nothing to me. I want to be able to learn my craft, get better and better and better on it. Each and every week I want to be able to learn something new that I didn't know the week before. That goes for during the day too, but I've always found when you practice during the week, some days there's no advancement, and that goes for even the pros. But after a week, there's something you walk away with in a positive sense. So that has always been my goal. I basically love playing drums. I don't care if I'm playing drums in this basement and never play live again. It is just a challenge for me and a love to just play the drums or guitar or the bass and just see how good I can get, or see what kind of weird thing I can come up with to make a song. If my wife is the only listener, I am totally okay with that. So the money factor has never been why I do music. Sure, it's good to have money for gas to put in your car to get to a gig, and sure, it does buy you some things, but you're not going to be rich being So my battery died. Gotta love that. So, basically, I do this for the love of it, and it's not the money. He said you're not going to get rich being a barroom musician in your local city. Once you get that in your head, then just have fun with it. So I decided I would teach this young lady, and it's been fun. We're getting to learn about each other. I get to learn more about my own teaching skills, because they are rusty. Let me tell you, they are rusty after 20 years. And she's patient with that, and I'm patient with her learning the craft. So it's working out pretty good. And it's, kind of bringing me back in time when I used to do this for a living in Sioux, Michigan for quite a while, and also here. I used to teach, had a whole thing set up down here for private lessons for years and years and years. Most people didn't know that, but close friends knew that. So one of the benefits of helping people out is they kind of do what they call what do they call it? Fringe benefits? I don't know if that's the right term for it, but they bring you a smile when, for helping them. They get you little trinkets that kind of make your day. And I would rather that than, like I say, the commitment to an hourly rate for drumming and stuff. That's fine and dandy when I was working in the store, but private stuff, I don't really commit to that too much. But if someone's coming for help and stuff, it's just a fun day, shooting the breeze. Hey, this is how you do it. And have a nice day after. That's fine. It's just like just a bunch of friends getting together and having a good talk, a few laughs, learning some stuff, and then and then we'll see you later. I don't mind that at all. But anyways, so my only student that's full-time, knows I'm a model car builder. And so I just turned 60 years old. I don't feel 60. I still do a lot of things that I did when I was a kid. Model cars is one of them. In fact, I am right into this so much that I have literally hundreds of model cars. I have them built, unbuilt, and they're not all over the house. They're in storage totes, and the ones I build are kind of in cases that are protected, and I bring them out to look at and show friends. And I don't have a big enough house to show model cars and drum sets and all the stuff that I like. So most of the stuff is in storage, but I still enjoy model cars. So I was just given this the other night just for a thanks for helping her out, and I greatly appreciate that. That means more to me than the hourly wage thing. It just shows that somebody's paying attention to what I love in life, even the smallest things. Like model car building for me was my escape when I was a kid. My parents were going through a divorce, and then my father ended up passing away. And model car building and music, those two things got me through lots of bad times. And don't get me wrong, I had a great childhood, even with my parents split, but nothing is a smooth transition. There are always some rocky roads you have to pass over. And model building definitely helped. Music definitely helped. And the cool thing about it is, um, I have a workbench that's the camera sitting on right now that I build models on, but I still have the original corner table that was in my bedroom back in the 70s, and it wasn't there in the 60s. It was more early 70, 71. The corner table and this chair that's sitting on my left that I used to teach on, that was my model chair and model table, corner table, that I still own to this day. Still sits in this basement that I'll never part with. I'm sentimental for stupid things like that, but they mean everything to me. Yes, a corner table and a chair. There are so many memories for me in that, with model car building and doing my homework for school, that, in my opinion, money can't buy. So people could offer me whatever for those, and I will not sell them. So they're going to be with me until I drop. So for someone to pay attention to that I like something like this, and basically show their appreciation, that means everything to me. So, and I don't mind going the extra mile and continue lessons, and obviously continue friendships. Now, it always comes down to, though, if you show the effort. If you're showing the effort, that makes me happier than anything. If you don't show the effort, then I basically say, and I've had to do this, I basically had to show them the door. It's like, no, you don't want to learn. And you know they're not learning. There might be their parents wanting them to get into music, and they really don't want to get into music. They don't want any interest. It's their parents' vision and not the child's vision, or the person's vision. You have to say, okay, no, you're done. It's time to find something you want to do, because you're not showing an interest. And I've had to do that to a few, very, very few. Most people will stick with it and enjoy the instrument. So, but yeah, so that's why I do this. That's why I enjoyed it back 20 years ago, and I still have that same feeling. I love it, and I see the gratification in the people that I help, and so I kind of stick with it. Will I go full time? Because I posted a couple of videos of Keisha and I doing lessons and working on the song. Will I go full time again? No, I will not. I kind of opened up a can of worms by posting some of this stuff with like the song with Keisha and that, and I've had lots of messages to teach, and I will not do full-time teaching. It's just not in the cards. At least not right at this day, right now. It's not there for me. I have too many other things I want to do and complete. So I don't want to hurt people's feelings, but I don't mind if you're stuck on something in drums and you need help with it. That I can definitely, throw my 2 cents in or give you a hand with it. That's no problem. You just message me, say I'm stuck in this, can you help? And if it's something I can actually work out and help you with, I will do it. If I'm stumped on it, believe me, I can find the answer somewhere. This is a special thing for me with the one student. It's convenient because, like I say, the connection with my lead singer, it it works out because they're all part of the band situation, the band environment anyways. And it just works. It just seems to work, and it's been fun. So I'm sorry to those that have asked, and I was surprised. I was kind of caught me off guard, that I had, almost 13 people asking for lessons, and it was like, uh-oh. I didn't really anticipate that at all. So the video we did was part of a lesson. It was for fun, and I'm sorry that it's just not in the cards for full lessons right now. If that changes, though, I will definitely make an announcement. And I think if I ever did get back into it full time, it would be just in the winter months, because I hate winter and I'd rather be trapped down in my basement with music instruments anyways. But in the summer, I have too many things I like to do, and cycling is one. I love cycling, so that takes a lot of time in my day, and I will love it. It's another part of my childhood that I've never given up. So, and Keisha already knows how much I appreciate this. It's going in the line of sequence because I've got like 5 models on the go right now. So we'll rip that one out and onto the work table probably be a little bit yet. And got brand new airbrushes, so we'll do a number on it. So anyways, that's a scoop, kind of a different vibe to this one, but hope you enjoyed it. And again, sorry for not being able to take lessons on. That could change, but at the moment, sad to say, I cannot teach full time. Not in the cards, and I don't know who to recommend either. I've heard lots of bad things about some teachers lately that I find very disturbing, and I'm not sure how some of these businesses that hire these people, I don't know how they're not screening what these teachers are teaching their kids. But when I start getting students coming to me after taking lessons for 2 years and they can't play through a single song, there is something wrong. So hopefully that changes. So yes, I've had a few students come to me from a local establishment whose teachers failed them. Not good. So that's a scoop. Thanks for listening.